What?
I didn't change my hat.
Oh.
I just noticed.
Oh, dang.
I went the whole episode without changing my hat.
All right. 3,
I should have
2...
changed it for the intro.
Go ahead.
No, now my Alexa's talking for some reason. I have no idea. These are the good bloopers for us. Go ahead.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Dynamics Corner. I have a joke for you, Brad.
What's the joke?
I tried telling an old sustainability joke the other day, but ironically, it had already been recycled too many times. I'm your co-host, Kris.
And this is Brad. This episode was recorded on March 21st, 2025. Kris. Sustainability. What is sustainability? And did you know Business Central has sustainability and has many improvements to sustainability? It also has e-documents and has undergone some big changes with the 1099s. With us today, we had the opportunity to speak with Aleksandar Totovic.
Hi
Good
guys.
afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah,
Tired?
just closing. Yes and no. I'm tired, but not because of today work. I'm tired because of the last 2-3 months of work. So many new things. I am the most guilty guy in the company. I talked with Yannick, my manager, and said, okay, just to understand, you are not guilty at all. So every time when we talk, in general, okay, he said, okay, deliver less, relax. This is not important. I don't want you burn out, but when you see what you must deliver, so now really must, and now this is complicated word. What is really must? And for me, this is not problem to say to you, guys, partners. I can say no. We cannot do it. I know. Everyone wants more, but sometimes you need to say no. But saying no to myself, this is the most complicated thing, because if you do not deliver in this way, it will be too late later. And this is the biggest problem, how to say no to yourself. And I still didn't learn. 2 days ago, now I am older. I am 53. I had a birthday 2 days ago, and
happy birthday.
now
Happy
I'm 53.
birthday.
Yes, thank you. But I really hope in next 20 years I will learn how to say no.
That is challenging, I find. The
It is.
saying no,
Yeah.
I think as you get older, it gets easier in a sense, but it's sometimes important to say no. I struggle with it myself, with saying no, because in some cases, you want to help, you want to see progress, you want to see improvement, but it takes sometimes a little bit of a different viewpoint to realize that saying no at times is being helpful, because then you're setting expectations ahead of time instead of telling somebody or telling someone or committing to do something and then realizing that it may be more time consuming than you think, or other things may come into play that are emergencies, which would tear it off. So, and I know for you, this time of year is crazy because you have the Wave 1 coming out, you have the BC launch event, you have some conferences you have to go to.
Yeah,
so
we finished with launch event. Okay, it will come in a few days, but we finished recording, so I'm okay. I had 14 or 15, I think 14 on the end. I removed one of sessions, so 14 sessions for this launch event. But you will see, it will be, but it will be a bit different. We made a decision to make it different. Our telemetry says us, I don't know because I didn't look, this is what we got the feedback, that people do not spend more than 2-3 minutes watching video from PCLE in average. So, having what's new in 20-30 minutes, and it sounds that, we are investing our energy to prepare demos, to prepare slides, to explain everything, and in the end, it seems that nobody is watching this. So
They could be watching in small chunks though, because I do
yes,
that from
but
time to time.
but this is the problem, because when you want to find you have, for example, what's you in one area, whatever area is, and now you are interested for 2 or 3 things, but you need to find. This is what is the problem. This is problem for you. This is problem for us. Maybe you will not find it at all, or maybe you will waste your time just trying to find. So we decided, let's split this into small videos.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
So
Small chunks.
let's see how it will go. I had a few of them. We couldn't. Actually, one is bigger. I think 20 minutes, something like that. And for co-pilots, we had up to 10 minutes, because you need to explain what is under the hood, how it works, and what is under the hood. So you need some 10 minutes. But for others, I think that most of them 4, 5, 6 minutes. So minimum from my side, what I did. And let's see how people will like it.
I'm curious to see how that goes, because I do like the micro learning type approach, where maybe you have smaller chunks of topics, then you can lead into a more in-depth discussion for things that interest you. I know that YouTube does a good job of trying to put chapters, or you could put chapters in there. But I think having a bunch of smaller videos, almost like shorts, Kris, I know you've been doing a lot of shorts for us, but having shorts that are maybe 5 minutes or so, that then can take you to a longer episode. So you get a good overview. And it may not be that I'm interested or not interested. I may not know if I'm interested, but within that 5 minutes, I can see that this topic is something that interests me. I know that if we're talking in this example about the what's new in 2025 wave 1, which I hope we can talk about with you in a few moments.
Yeah.
Not everybody will read the release notes, or you go to the web page that tells you all of the features. So you may not know what's there. So to see it in video and short chapter like and chapter like layout might help people, because I really don't know how many people read these days, to be honest with you. I think with the AI search engines, with Grok, with Copilot, with all of the others, it summarizes and takes things and gives you everything in that short snippet, and then you can jump to read more if you want. I think that's happening also on video, where
you talk about shorts. It's interesting in YouTube. Brad and I start doing YouTube shorts, and I do it maybe once a week or so, and then schedule it out. And I'll tell you, YouTube shorts allows you up to 60 seconds, even if it's coming from a full video. We actually get more views on these YouTube shorts than the full length. And then what happens is that you can link it to the full length in case they're interested. They know that they can go to the full length video and they can watch it.
Yeah. Absolutely, you are right. Now, actually, we were in a situation we didn't know how to do, what to do, because we started with, we got some budget to make some really short videos, not maybe shorts, but let's say 2 minutes, something like that. And we created one for, if I'm not wrong, for manufacturing, one of manufacturing features for Andre. I'm not 100% sure. My head is full of all possible information, so maybe I forgot. Or for Shopify, whatever, never mind. But when I looked at that, and Yannick said, okay, maybe we can go lunch event this way. But these videos are customer-oriented. You can briefly explain, and this is much more marketing video, what you can do. Okay, with new feature, but what you can do. But this is really nice. But with the launch event, we are targeting partners. So we want for you to know what we deliver, and for partners, this is not enough just to see how it works. You need to understand what is under the hood, sometimes to explain maybe code, maybe something, for example, now in electronic invoicing, we introduced new interface. So without knowing what is behind the scene, you cannot continue your work. So we decided, okay, let's keep it shorter. Let's be focused on specific areas, but not to make something customer-oriented. This is still part-oriented, so we cannot cut to 2 minutes. You need, sometimes we are faced with challenges. People asking, why you're investing in this area? Why you didn't invest in another area? And with what you people can be sometimes disappointed why you deliver this, and I need to provide some context.
Yes.
I need to provide context why we did it, because just going into the head and okay, we delivered this and this. I said, okay, why the hell you are doing so? So we need to explain some context in 1 minute, not going deeper, but in 1 minute to explain context. What was the problem? It was maybe on a feedback from customers, from partners, what we wanted to achieve, or maybe this is our view, but what we wanted to achieve with this feature. But just to give some context. After that, to explain how it works, and it depends from feature to feature to go under the hood or not. So let's say we decide to go this way for this launch event. We will see how it will go. I hope it will be better for partners, because if they do not spend so much time to go into details, so probably it will be better. And in a parallel, probably we will continue to work these much shorter videos for customers. So this is idea to help partners, instead of showcasing all the time what is new, to make something. I don't know how we will do it on the end, because we are thinking now, this is on designer side, we want to make possible for customers, for them to see what is new in release, because now they're more, they're dependent on partners, and that's okay. But you as a partner, you have more and more customers. You will not have enough time to go to each of customers to say, okay, let's look this and this. What is, if this is new, maybe this is useful for you. We were thinking, okay, let's do opposite, but we still don't know how. Let's make this somehow available, but available on YouTube, this is not enough. We don't expect from our customers that they are focused on Business Central. They are focused on their daily job, and that's it. So somehow we need to see maybe some notification what is new. So if they're interested, for maybe based on their role center, we still don't know how. We are thinking about that, but this is just our future. They will see what is new, and then if they see, this is interesting, then I will ping my partner to ask him if this is possible to be implemented in my case, how it will work. So let's make this proactively, because wasting your time explaining to all customers what is new, this is wasting your time. But another way, maybe we can influence customers that they will ping you what is really important for them. So still don't know. This is a little bit more complex story from marketing, from customer oriented. So we have many people involved in that just to find the best solution. And probably it will not be the best solution. You cannot find one fit for all, but
you will never find one fit for all. Even with,
I know.
As you talk about with the features that get added, it's people are self-centric and they want to see things for them, sometimes not realizing that there may be another majority or another group that wants that feature added to it. But lots of great things going on. And I know with the 2025 Wave 1 coming just around the corner, and we wanted to talk with you about some of the areas that you're responsible for. Before we jump into that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Aleksandar Totovic, guy working in Business Central 20 plus year. I don't know how many. And if you're looking in IT, I'm a really dinosaurs. It sounds maybe weird, but I made my first code when I was 10. And now when I said I was 10, this is maybe for new kids, this is normal. But keep in mind, I am 1972. So in my age, computers was not something normal, especially I'm in Serbia, based in Serbia, but in this age it was Yugoslavia, old Yugoslavia, it was socialistic country. We didn't have access to computers, so in 1982, it was my first chance to see computer in some organization, for kids, something like that, never mind, and I saw a ZX80. And after 2 months, we got 81. So first it was 2.5 kilobyte memory, if I remember. Another one, ZX81, was 1 kilobyte of memory. So now explaining someone it was computer. Oh. So I remember, but I made my first code before I saw computer ever. So I put on a piece of paper and I wait in the queue on this organization to have my 5 minutes in the front of computer to rewrite this code to start. So this is 40 plus years somehow in IT.
It's amazing, and individuals don't realize that. I'm up there with you. My first time coding was with a Timex Sinclair in BASIC, and it had a cassette tape, and that's where you saved your information to, and you had to use the counter to find where it was on the tape. Kris, you don't know anything about this, I know.
Yes, of course.
But times were almost easier back then. I hate to say it, with the way that information moves and the advances in technology and how rapid it's going, time was easier back then. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm going back and reminiscing when you said back in the early days. And then my second computer was a Tandy 1000. Remember Radio Shack used to be big with the computers, but I'll continue. I'm sorry.
My first computer was Commodore. I had a chance after ZX8081 to work on Synchronous Spectrum, but my first computer was Commodore 64. And wow, I got it from my parents, and it was the best gift I got in my life. Finally I had my computer in my room, and they said you had to use tape, and you had to find azimuth every time if this is off. All days, and we went the turbo to load faster. So all days, but I'm really too old, and now I can compare with my grandson. And my grandson first word was sa, but okay, sa doesn't mean anything for you, but it was he's trying to say Alexa. So now he's communicate. He is 3.5, and he's communicate with Echo properly. He is asking what he want to get. And now just compare. I was born much before personal computers. Okay, not computers, but personal computers. And now comparing with his generation, he is born in AI era. Because he saw all of us, Alexa, play music, Alexa, turn on TV, and he concluded, okay, Alexa is a miracle, and he tried to say first, not mom, not dad, first was sa, trying, and he was so angry why Alexa didn't answer to him. But, this is what they want to do, now sometimes very often people talking, okay, AI, what we will do. No, we need to put in different shoes. Now we are looking, he's 3.5, but in 15 years, he will be 18, 19 years old. He will work with computers regularly, he will study. This is not so far. And so this is not if he will use AI. He was born with AI. So this is situation. He was born with AI. This is absolutely natural for him.
Yes.
He will not if he will trust. Of course, he will trust. And now this is on us to work properly with AI, to make really trustworthy, so people we really trust. We will not have failures. So we have a big obligation and a lot of things to do to make this AI, to put this AI in the right direction because of these future generations. This is really, this is not easy to understand. This is really not easy to understand. I'm trying, I'm watching him, but this is...
You hit that. It's each generation grows up with what was available at the time. And as you had mentioned, it becomes natural. So in a household where a baby is growing up or a young child is growing up and they hear someone yelling at Echo or Alexa or something, they think that's just natural. And like you said, they don't know life without it. Therefore, they don't understand some of the challenges with it or understand some of the arguments to where maybe why we should or shouldn't use AI because they don't know anything else. It's
this is the same if you look in the internet. I remember when I used the modem and, with a phone connection, waiting a couple of minutes. And then if I wanted to download something, I had to wait for a couple of kilobytes. I had to wait, I don't know,
Days,
15, 20 minutes to get it. Okay, days. If you wanted to download
megabytes.
movie, or
Yeah.
okay,
Nothing was
who
that big
knows?
back
But,
then, Chris. You're dealing with like
but
1200,
No,
2400
we
baud modems.
remember
I remember the days. I'll tell you.
music was a tough one because that was like
yeah,
easy to
yes,
download, but it took forever.
yes, you had to wait sometimes 1 hour to download one song, and
Yes.
just wait. Okay, finally I have this song on my computer. But now people are not. I don't look in a current generation, future generation. I'm looking myself. For me, this is nature. If I do not have internet in for 5 minutes. Oh, this is stressful. I don't know what is the problem. I call my phone, my internet provider. A few days ago, I watched something on Netflix. It was 10:30 p.m. and I lost internet. Oh, come on! And at the end, I lost internet for maybe 5 minutes, and I didn't wait. I called them by phone and said, "But this is 10 p.m. I said, I don't care. I'm paying you, and I want. I didn't have time earlier. I need internet now because now I have a chance to watch my movie." So,
It's so true.
Yeah.
but now, this is normal.
It's unbelievable how attached
No.
we've become to all this technology, and I like laughing and talking about some of these old stories because I think in our generation, if you look at the changes in technology, more has changed in that generation than has changed in any other time. We went from
Absolutely.
the introduction of the cell phone, introduction of the internet, in essence, and an introduction of even there's so many different things with
It's
the
just
computers.
everything's
With
so
AI.
instant now
It
versus,
is.
we were a little bit more patient then. We
Yeah.
were able to do other things. And then now it's like when you don't get the information as quickly as possible, you get frustrated. And it's like, I need this information quickly. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then with AI, it makes it easy for our kids.
You are right, and something this easy access to information can be tricky, and it can lead us to lose our focus. So I still think, technology is a great thing. But if you look back, let's move outside technology. Let's look, for example, dynamite. Sorry, my English. Is this useful or not? Of course, it can kill people. But this is really useful. We will not have a civilization if we do not use explosives. So that's normal. We need to know how to handle these things. This is the same with drugs. You can take antibiotics by yourself and you will destroy your health. But if you get proper prescription from your doctor when you really need, it will extremely be important. It will help you. So I don't see technology as something different from any other invention through history. The same electricity. Just go and touch it with your finger. Of course you will die. Of course, all of us know that. But 100 years ago, we didn't know that. So it was dangerous. Even now, this is dangerous. So I remember, because now my grandson, he is 3.5. We had to teach him not to touch electricity because, how to explain a small kid. But when I compare generation, this is much easier to understand. This is something dangerous. So, we have evolution, but this is about every technology. I think this is the same with AI, with all other things. It can be dangerous if we do not use properly. You cannot go to, never mind about brand, but ChatGPT is as some standard. You cannot go there and, I have pain here and I will ask what is about. Come on. You don't know how to ask. Then on the other side, this is not doctor. Maybe you can get proper information, but you need to know how to ask. So you need to be prompt engineer. You need to properly to provide. You cannot talk with AI the same way as we are talking between us. So we need to teach people. And this is, again, now I'm moving to Microsoft side. When we talk about copilots, except this wide one in Microsoft 365 where you can use as a GPT. But when you look, for example, BC and other technology, we are trying to instruct these copilots to work with the least possible information you as a user can provide. Because we do not expect that any user will be expert in this area. that they will know how to. We don't expect that everyone will be prompt engineers. So even from our side, we are not all of us prompt engineers. So we need to work together to provide proper tool for specific situations. So when you meet specific situation, you can easily put some basic information and you will get really information you will trust on. But this is, again, this is on Microsoft, not only Microsoft, of course, other companies. This is now on us to use these extremely powerful tools and to maybe to put some limitations, but good limitations to provide a really trustworthy information for our customers and users. So this is really this is a really serious obligation on our head. So we need to work on this direction, because people can easily misuse, not intentionally, they can accidentally misuse this information and got absolutely wrong information, even if they wanted the best. So yeah, I think when I look on my PM work, in my engineers' work, I'm looking like that. We have some really powerful tool, and we have users with no AI knowledge at all. So we need somehow to take these powerful tools and to prepare ready for our users.
I agree with you. You hit some key points there. It's a tool that needs to be used for a specific function, and any tool used improperly can be harmful. It doesn't. You hit that perfectly, because it doesn't matter what it is. Any tool that we have, you can use a knife to cut your meat so you can eat without choking, and it's easier to eat, or you can use a knife for bad purposes. So it's important to remember that these are tools that are used with specific functions. And I have the conversations with others about AI, and they always talk about how it's doing bad and how it's doing this. Change the mindset and say why and what's the purpose of my use. Instead of trying to force it to do bad, try to use it for the benefit to get something out of it, as you had mentioned, because you can get some great information from it, or even the start of information when used appropriately. And we can jump over to what you're doing with Business Central. With you work on some great features or functions within there.
Yes.
I know sustainability was added a bit ago, and you have some new enhancements for this coming wave, as well as e-documents. I have a lot of questions about e-documents, and then I understand that you may know one of the dreaded things that we have here in the United States, and that's the 1099s. I don't know if we should say that word.
These miracle numbers.
Miracle number.
Before I joined the team, I didn't know what it means. I learned this the harder way.
Did you volunteer for it? Did they say, we need someone to work on the 1099s in the United States?
And you couldn't say no.
Unfortunately,
you didn't say no.
Unfortunately, it just drove to my desk, and that's your obligation. So, yes, let's go from this first much more nice things. Let's talk about, I will explain. I don't try to hide about any features. So this way, I will first start sustainability because I really believe in sustainability. Few times I mentioned my grandson, and I'm really proud grandpa. So if you talk about my roles in my life, I said on the first place I am grandfather and I am father. This is the most important. These are two the most important roles in my life. After that, I'm professional. I'm really trying to give my best in what I'm doing. But many of these things are really influenced with this. I'm grandfather in the first place, and when we see pollution, when we see everything, and I'm based in Serbia. During the spring or fall or winter, I cannot go even out in Belgrade. This is so polluted, and I'm living we are breathing this air, and I do not want to live the same way to my grandson. Even if I cannot change, maybe for more than 5%, I want to watch him in his face and to say, okay, I did maximum what I could to make your life healthier, to make your air cleaner, our rivers better, to still to have your fresh water. Let's talk about this side. So this is for one side we have regulatory requirements, and in Europe we have CSRD rules. I'm not European Union, but European Union the CSRD rules, and from next year it will be obligatory for many of small and mid-sized businesses. So even now this is mandatory for many big businesses. There are similar requirements in Australia, in India. If I'm not wrong, next year will come in New Zealand, some other countries. Now, I know in United States this is a bit different, but again, I think this is in the United States this is a bit different because there is not something based on United States. This is based on states. So I see that in California you have something, some similar rules for bigger companies. If I'm not wrong, in Minnesota, but on some other states you have opposite rules. But again, we have regulations, worldwide some kind of regulations, but I think when I look at that, I'm looking from ethical perspective. Maybe some people will oppose me. Maybe people do not see pollution in outside. Sometimes we can talk about that as political view, but I don't think this is political. I can see if my air is polluted or not. So that's a fact. And now we can talk if I can change something. But if all of us pretend we cannot change, I'm just one person, we will never change anything. So I believe we can do our small part of that, and that's it. For example, I'm building my house, and I'm trying to make this house. I will have solar panels, I will have heat pumps, so I will do what I can on my side, even if this is not related to the business. So I really believe that we need to do everything what we can do in this direction. And now when we go back to the business, to Microsoft, okay, we deliver. We started with this functionality two waves ago, so 2 years, 2 waves ago, and this is really young feature, extremely young. This is third release where we will deliver some new functionalities there, and I'm really proud what we succeed in only a year and a half to build from that. And I said this is something what we started from regulatory, but we want to improve to be regularly used. So sometimes you are not obliged to use, but okay, you can. If you don't want, just do not use. And you will see some user experience and setup how we deliver. So if you don't want to use, you will not see that it exists at all. So that's it. We didn't want to make some user experience weird if you do not like it. So first, this is an app installed by default, and now we can start the topic if we need to pre-install all our apps or not. Probably no, but some of them should be pre-installed, and I'm still believe that sustainability is one of them that should be pre-installed. If you do not want, you can easily uninstall. And you can say, yes, I need to waste time to uninstall. But when I see how many customers are affected that they need to report, I think it should be pre-installed. And now I said for some of these features, first, this basic functionality is completely independent. This is sustainability journal, sustainability ledger entry. So if you don't need it, you will not see. Only when you search, you will find, when you type you will find something sustainability there, but you will not see. If you want to use Raw Center Sustainability Manager, okay, you will see. But if you are finance, accounting, whatever, you will not see it. And now we deliver some new functionality. I will explain a little bit more details what. But to enable this functionality, because this functionality will touch the most of documents in the Business Central, you need to turn on in sustainability setup. And by default, this is turned off. So we didn't want anybody to see if they do not want to use. If you turn on, then the most of your documents, you will get new columns or fields related to emissions, to sustainability accounts. It depends what we are talking about. But if you do not want to use, you will not see it at all. So I think this is a good approach, personally, from my side. Okay, I'm owner of this functionality, so I think I'm right. Maybe I'm not, but This is this is how I look in myself. I know I'm right. Let's talk about that. But what I want to make this easier for all people who want to use. Just turn on and you can use. And for all people who do not like it or they do not want, whatever reason, okay, they will not see it at all. So easy for both of them. We talk, you cannot make one fit all, but this is something the most similar with that. So as I said, I'm really proud personally from my side because we started this first wave. We just created what I mentioned, this journal, sustainability chart of account and ledger. It was basic functionality. You could open this journal, fill in some data and post to ledger, and that was everything what we had. Then after that, we extended this functionality, adding this in a purchase document. So if you get some emission in your invoice, I don't know, for example, from your electricity, you can easily do it when you want to post your invoice. So why to go after that? So we added some more details. We put scorecards, goals, so you can forecast. You have role center. This is what we deliver in previous way. But now we decided really to go much more deeper. We enabled with this, probably I will forget some of features because we have a huge list of new features for this wave. We enable water management, waste management. So this is now really powerful. You can really track discharge water, water intensity, type of water. A really powerful feature. When you look at how many objects are affected, not so many, because I think we made good architecture in the beginning. So now we are just extending this architecture, but now you have much more about that. Yes, we added carbon equivalent, so automatically recalculate all your emissions to equivalent. So more and more features are here. Then now we try to extend. People asking, okay, I have a purchase document, but what if I want when I have general journal? So, okay, we extended general journals now. This is small feature, but we extended it. Then people ask, yes, but every time if you are using some account or item, I need to choose which what is sustainability account. So now we enable new functionality. You can set up your default sustainability account for general account, for item, for resource, for work center, machine centers. In this wave, no, but in next wave for item charge as well. So we added default accounts if you want to configure. Again, say if you do not want to use, you will not see this fast tab. But if you enable to use, you will get this fast tab, sustainability fast tab on all these cards. So for general account, you will get only default account, but for others, you will get default account and default values. For now, so when you buy this phone, you can, and if you have emissions related to this phone, you can put account and you can put emissions. So you will automatically collect whatever documents you are handling. You will collect emissions from your item, from your resource, whatever you're doing, you will get everything by default. And now it opens the door what we and why we are doing this. We added now new tracking model, and this is what is well known in sustainability area as the value chain. So now you can track through all your operations, your emissions. So once when you purchase your item, now some raw material, whatever, and you will get from your vendor emissions related to these raw materials, okay, you will post and you will have another table, now sustainability value entry, and you can easily understand from the name what is about. Actually, this is value entry, but this is not value entry for costs. This is value entry for emissions. Is now what you want, for example, what you want, what you get. You have locations to different cities. So you purchase in one city and you want to move to another location. I assume you will transport with some truck to another location, so you will have emission related to this internal transport. So you can add your emission in your transfer order. So when you move to another location, this item will have, 5% bigger emission because you have some added emission in a transport. Then based on what you want to do with that, if this is raw material you want to use in assembly order or in a production order, it will be visible in the bill of materials. Then I mentioned in work machine center, so this is in the routings. in resources, of course, so you can handle with assembly order. So you will recalculate when you produce a new assembly item or to production. Your finished good will get all this information on the end. And when you sell, you will have your final emission you are sending to your customers. In this moment, we didn't add on printouts because we want to get the feedback with the customers and partners how to prepare the best printouts for these emissions. But this is in sales invoice, so you can find this field. So even if you want to enable, you can easily add to your invoices. So this is full value chain. So this is completely new functionality. And I need to say, I'm honest, this is not finished. I say this is not finished. What it means, everything what is delivered, it works. So it works. This is in public preview. When I say this is not finished, I need to explain what is not finished. We didn't add, for example, an item charge. So now if you have external transport, now you cannot apply this external transport. So in next wave, this is a plan to add item charge. Then we didn't enable in the projects. So if you have in projects, we cannot show the final emission of projects. So there are some missing parts. We didn't have enough time. I could keep it on my own, not to show what we are doing and to deliver completed functionality. But I think this is much better to show this is public preview. Even if this limited functionality is enough for some of customers, they can start usage. If this is not enough, if item charge is extremely important, okay, you can test it in a sandbox, you can see how it works, and even this is more agile. We can get the feedback. So in the next wave, when we are planning to complete this functionality, we can get some additional feedback so we can improve maybe even something what we deliver now. So we are planning to have GA maybe in October, but let's say if not October, November, December until the end of year, but in some of minors with the next wave. So this is one of the biggest things we deliver in this wave. But this is not the biggest, this is not only one big thing, because one more proud thing, we didn't deliver because it will be in 26.2. Now I'm saying this publicly, and if I fail, I will fail big.
yes.
But yeah, this is something what I already mentioned in the launch event, and yeah, I will show these some directions in 3 weeks. Yes, if I'm not wrong. So Copilot for sustainability.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yes, and this is, I cannot go into small details how it works, but what is the problem? What you found? Sustainability journal. You can use it, but you can use the assumptions you have emission factors. So you know how many miles you drive your car, you know how many, whatever, something, liters, gallons, what is the leak of your refrigerator. You know these details, but you do not know your emission. If you know emission, for example, if you get from your power plant emission for your electricity, you're good. You can put your total emission. But if you do not know total emission, you need to calculate. Okay, you have some inbound information, but you need to have emission factors. And now Microsoft does not provide these emission factors by default. Having some integration, this is not so cheap, providing information, so it's not so cheap. You need to pay for some API to have integrated, and even this is not only to pay for subscribing, you need properly to make this integration. This is not the easiest way how to make it. You can find some ISVs, I know they are providing, but we decided to make it easier. So when you fill in your sustainability journal, we are using all this information, and it is said we will be prompt engineers. We expect from users just to provide proper information. What does it mean? You will have some account name, good. You will have some number of miles or gallons, some information about distance, about quantity, some information you have inside. Or, for example, you're flying with now I'm going to Las Vegas. I have my flight Belgrade, Frankfurt, and I have Frankfurt, Las Vegas. I need to say, okay, I have one, or I can say, if I have direct flight, I will say direct flight, one flight, Belgrade, Las Vegas. And this is enough. I have account flight economy, premium economy, business class difference. So it depends on how you want to split your information accounts. But what is actually on customer expectations? When you fill in, system will copy account description into description, but we expect from users to provide a bit more information description. So if you are driving a car, I expect you will have only company car, for example, in account. So you need to say what is your brand name. If you're driving BMW, Mercedes, Tesla, what is a car, or if this is, I don't know, 250, 300, this is diesel, petrol, TDI, whatever. Just provide basic information, what it's about. The same for flight. You need to say this is business class or economy class, because this is different system, doesn't know how you paid for flight. So you need to provide what was direction, I said from Belgrade to Las Vegas, what was my class. If I provide this information, that's good. System will calculate what was the distance. System will use emission factors. Now I will not go into details. I will explain on directions and launch events how we calculate, because I cannot go into technical details. But we can recalculate from two different sources, because we are providing internal and external sources. This is what I can say right now, and it can really help to get good information and make it easier for posting. But one step more. Once when you run Copilot, when you review and say, okay, that's good, you can decide to keep these emission factors in the business center for the future usage. So you will use less and less LLM, because, for example, for liters of petrol, okay, this is emission factor. I think once when you calculate, you can keep it. Or emission per 1 mile. Okay, for this car, once when you calculate, you can keep it. And system will automatically keep, and next time you do not need to run LLM. System will automatically use your existing information system. But for example, for flights, if you have only one account, there is no, this is not the best to keep emission, because you don't know where you will travel next time. So it will be wrong information. But for the most of these things, you will use unique account will be unique. You can keep these emissions factor for the future usage, and you will use LLM less and less. So probably in the beginning you will use for 90% of your lines, but with the time it will go maybe to 20% of your lines. So it will be much faster, much easier to get. So this is one of the most important things in this wave, and I'm really proud what we are doing, because this is not easy to get.
It sounds like there's a lot of things that are coming out. I just to go back really quick on sustainability and all the features, and be able to just turn on and turn off, if you don't need it. I do find a lot of value to utilize the sustainability module. And I am curious, from your perspective, is there a specific industry where I know in the United States, maybe not every state requires you to track that, as of right now, but is there a specific industry where they should, even if it's not required, that they should start tracking sustainability in when they do business? Is there a specific industry that this would be a perfect fit for it? I have an idea, like farming is perfect for this, to track the sustainability, because when I went to Eastern Washington, I went to a cider place. They grow apples and things like that, and they have a building where they make cider. And I spoke to the owner, and she was very interested in maintaining her sustainability and understanding what she's consuming and the emissions of all of her stuff. And I had a long conversation with her, and I said, hey, interestingly enough, Business Central has sustainability. And she was like, what is Business Central? And so these are smaller farms that are growing these things. And so I see farm industry, perfect for it. Is there any specific other industry where this would be a good fit?
I think there are a lot of industries now. For example, I think this is much more related to managers. You can have one farm, they want to track, another farm, they will not need. So if there is no regulation, we can look at a personal responsibility. But there are some other drivers, not all the time personal responsibility. What I found, there are many companies, Microsoft is one of them, as we are planning, if you want to be our vendor, you must show that you are, let's say, environmental responsible company. So you need to show us that you are going to your, let's say, to net zero emission in one moment. So this is not Microsoft is not only one company. More and more companies, big companies, they, if I am responsible. So if I want to work with you, you need to show me that you are responsible. And now, if we talk about big customers, yes, even if you do not want to do it, you will start working because you do not want to lose your big customer. So vendors are drivers. Then what I saw, we mentioned new generation. I found that more and more kids, I think kids, 20 years old, but let's say new kids. So for me, they are kids. They are much younger than my son. They are looking when they try to find a new job. They do not look only in the money they will earn. They're looking if they are responsible as a company. So there are many drivers. If you want to attract talents, and all of us, we want the best talents. So if you want to attract the best talents, you need to show much more, not only to give them money. You need to show that you're responsible. So there are many drivers in sustainability, and what I think, when I look in sustainability, okay, we had to start from somewhere. First, you need to make foundation. This foundation is not fancy. This is just foundation. So it doesn't look good, but it must be properly made so the architecture can be properly built on top of that. But I cannot say let me finish because there is no finished software product. But when we, let's say, complete what we are planning to deliver as a full functionality, it should be done the way that you as a user will not spend more than 1-2% more work, maximum more work in your daily job to provide all information. So this is why we wanted to Copilot. We have some other things, so now we cannot go into the small details, but we are looking in some other AI functionalities, how to make it so easy that you will not recognize that you are using sustainability at all. You don't care about that. You will get some information. You just need to post your invoice, and that's it. Now I'm talking about maybe a little bit further future, but this is what I personally, when I'm looking in my idea, my driver, what I want to deliver, I want to have functionality. You're working, and actually, you do not need to post invoice. System will automatically collect your invoice per server, post it, and that's it. The same way as you will get some posted invoice, you will get some items, some item ledger entry, value entries. You will get sustainability ledger entry, sustainability value entry. You will just get this information. So this is something, I cannot say we will get it tomorrow, we will not get next year. But I'm a really believer that we can do it. So in one moment, minimum, I'm selfish. For Business Central users, they do not need to waste their time. They can just enable sustainability and they don't need to take care about that. A system will help them to work. They need to know about sustainability if they want to analyze information. But even for analyzing, AI can help. So we can do many of these things, and this is future. And when I said, sorry, I see you want to ask us to say something, but just to finish, because I will forget, one more thing, you will get good set of Power BI reports related to sustainability.
Nice.
So, and even in a package, we have AI-driven Power BI reports. So you will see. We will, because I didn't show some of them on the launch event on Direction North America, it will be first time show in a public AI-driven Power BI report. So we will see some really fancy things.
That's fantastic. Now I wanted to touch base some really quick. That using you have to be able to consume the data very easy, and so it's exciting to hear from you that they're adding a Power BI dashboard with the product. Now you had mentioned about, again, this is based on my experience. I don't know whether Microsoft is working on this or not, but one of the conversations I've had is that they have a lot of devices and they want to be able to track the emissions. And so hopefully maybe in the near future where they don't have to think about that, you can tap into the IoT devices that would send that information over. So, whether Microsoft is working on that or not, I think that's one of the feedback that I receive where I don't want to think about that. I don't want to manually have to do that. I just want it to just give me the report and then move on.
Yeah. This was one of good examples where probably Microsoft will not go so deep. This is space definitely. This is industry specific, especially when you have some IoT devices. How we can collect? Yes, probably we can collect so good results, good information from all these devices. But this is a place where I see we need to have ISVs because this is industry specific or device specific. So we can look for both the directions, but Microsoft is trying to deliver horizontal solution. So we want to cover horizontal solutions. So we want to make this a reach with different AI features. I do not want to now to mention names, what kind of AI feature, but we want to make this a reach with AI features. So you can easily integrate with tomorrow with any device. Okay, you can use some Azure. Probably now I will fail with all these names because we have so many tools. Some of IoT hubs in Azure, you can connect there, collect information, connect through BC, and then we will have some AI tools we will handle with that. But we want to make this powerful in the framework. So if you're working without industry specific, you can work without any problem with Business Central. If you have some industry, you can easily connect and integrate with some external tools. So this is what we want to achieve. I know this is not easy, but let's see. And it depends on one variable. It depends of usage. So if you see that people are using sustainability, yes, we will invest. And if we do not see, that means we failed. But for now, I got 2 months ago from one of our big partners in Norway that we got from their side, and this is first time I got this information. We got new customer because of sustainability module inside, and I was so wow. I cannot explain. Okay, this is even if this is one. I don't know how many users. I didn't ask, so now I need to get officially confirmation we can handle. I cannot talk about partners, about customers. So I need to get officially confirmation we can use these details. But even getting one user that he or she decided to use Business Central because of sustainability feature. This is a great thing. This is really great. Especially we didn't deliver still so many functionalities. I say this is before this release, this is just 1 year old functionality in the Business Central. This is still so young. This is baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is really baby.
It is a great feature.
Customers.
And I like the feature. And you hit on a key point that having it where it is there and it's used, part of the whole sustainability conscientiousness and being aware of it is to see it. A lot of times, if you don't track or you don't see the information, it doesn't really exist. But if you start to track sustainability, or start to track your usage, your carbon footprint, or your emissions, you see really what your daily functions do to the environment. And you may now, with your being aware of it, can do things to curb your habit of using things. It's just like people track calories for food, or they track their types of macros and macros and the different micronutrients. Once you start tracking it, you become aware, your diet changes and you have an improved diet. So I'm a fan of sustainability, even if it's not mandatory here in the United States at this point, but to start tracking it, and individuals will change their habits. And once individuals see the impact, they may change. Because I agree with you. You can't deny pollution. You can't deny waste. You see it. And it's tangible, it's touchable. Even if it's in the air, it's still not right. And it affects everybody. So anybody wasting or causing pollution in one part of the world affects individuals in the other part of the world as well. So it's everybody has to do their little piece. Like you said, it's all the little pieces add up to big. And if everybody does a small change, it makes a huge impact on the environment.
Yeah, even if we decrease altogether for 10%, 10% is way more than nothing. So let's try to improve our world for 1%. If we improve, as I said, if we improve ourselves 1% or 2%, this is a big improvement. And in 10 years, if you, for example, 2% in 10 years, this is not 20, because now we need to calculate additional 2%, but this is more than 20%. You will be an expert in some area. So even if only improve yourself 2 or 3% per year, you will be an expert after some 10 years working on some specific situation. And this is the same way in pollution, whatever. If we decrease for 1, 2%, only for 1, 2%, but we can easily calculate, when I see what we need to do, we can easily improve not for 2%, for much more. So minimum, as I said, let's start tracking. If we cannot improve, but let's first start tracking. When you see impact, when you see how many tons all of us are delivering into the air, carbon dioxide into the air, maybe it will be, we will look at that differently. When you see, now I'm looking, when I compare flight, okay, definitely I will not travel to the United States with a boat. I cannot walk and I cannot swim. I like to run, but swimming will be too dangerous. So I need to go by the plane. But, if I need to go by car, train, or airplane, you can easily calculate. You can see. Now, this is really not, when you see numbers, because earlier I didn't know this difference. But when you start to calculate, this is a huge difference. So, yeah, we have regulations, we have vendors, we have future employees, we have personal responsibility. So, we have all these drivers, and I really hope people will, if nothing, people will start to use this Business Central and get some benefit. Even 20% of users, if they are using, yeah, that's good. And we will get some 20% of new users because they need sustainability and they are using some other ERPs without this functionality. So, yeah.
I know. I think it's a great feature, and I think it's great for the product, and I think it's great for the environment. But we talked about sustainability. Now, another new feature which you work with, and we talked about briefly, is the e-documents.
E-documents.
What is e-documents in Business Central?
Yeah, e-documents in Business Central. It was funny how we started with this functionality because first name was invoicing, and we created invoicing, and then we decided no, we will change the future name. Because when one moment we started to work, said okay, but it can work with other documents as well. So, okay, why to limit ourselves and partners even with naming invoices? Because if you provide name, it will indirect say, okay, this is for invoicing, but this is not. This is for documents. So we started again. I think this is 3 days ago, a year and a half, if I'm not wrong. Less than 2 years. Year and a half when we started with e-documents. And in the beginning, again, it was just a framework. Then we had tried to add some connectors, more and more, different formats. And what is about? Again, in Europe, and actually, I think that the most proactive continent about electronic invoicing is South America. I think that almost all countries in South America, probably not all, but the most of them, have some kind of mandatory electronic invoicing. Then European Union, yes, they have for a few years mandatory B2G, but now country by country they are adding B2B as a mandatory. I know in my country, Serbia, 2 years now is mandatory electronic invoicing. In Asia, in India, in Malaysia, in Saudi Arabia, probably I forget some of countries. I try not to count all of them. This is already mandatory. So you cannot deliver invoice another way. You must deliver as electronic invoice. And electronic invoice, we can use all model. I will have some XML. Let's say, imagine this is a PayPal, for example, and I will send you via email, and that's it. But now we do not talk about that. We are sending about providers. So in some countries, you have mandatory local authorities where you need to send your electronic invoice. That's it. You can send directly sometimes. Sometimes you can send via some providers, or sometimes you can do it only through providers. Depends from country to country. So there are so many different models. So now in some countries you can say this, let's call this 4 or 5 corners model. You are sending to one provider. This provider will exchange with the government. If this is 5 corners, 4 corners, some another provider, whatever, and then you will get information. But in some situation you have this pre-clearance model where you will say send to authorities. They will send you back clear GUID, QR code, whatever, and then you can send to your customer. So there are many, many different models. And we wanted to make one fit for all. And yes, this is hard to make one fit for all, but you cannot make complete a solution one fit for all, but you can create framework. Idea was to create a framework to cover, let's say, 80 to 90% of functionalities in a framework. So we still didn't finish with the framework. Now we are adding a few more things in this framework, and probably in the future we will add more and more because authorities are asking more and more. But we wanted to make this stable, and now this is pretty stable. Now we already cleaned all small issues here and there. This is stable, and then on the top of this framework, we can have specific apps. Specific apps in the first place are connectors. So now if you're working with PayPal providers, we started, now I can mention because this is public information, we started with Pagero and Avalara as first two providers. This is officially app you can find on App Source. This is pre-installed. Now we have added sign up and logic with this wave, and I can say because it will come in two minors. Continia will have added connector, B2B router, and now probably I will say three dots. Because I expect 8 or 9 connectors to have, let's say, next few months. And if I forgot to mention some of them, please, guys, sorry on that. But all of these connectors will be on our documentation, so people will see what is inside. Idea is to have, by default, big global providers. So they cannot provide all connectors because there are hundreds of thousands of different local connectors, but we wanted to provide big players, global players, so you can choose what you want to use. You still need to pay them, so you need to sign contract with them, but technically when you have credentials, when you go to one of them and get credentials, you can just choose which one you want to use, click, enter your credentials, and technically you will be connected. You can start working without any problem. So this is what we added. And then on the top of that, we are adding different formats. We have PayPal BIS3 as a default format in W1 because this is the most used format globally. But we have different local format. For example, now we deliver in this wave Australia, New Zealand, PayPal, PINT, ANZ. Now we have in Denmark OUBL, in Germany, X-Rechnung, in Spain, Factura E. Again, I will probably miss some of them. I'm trying not to forget.
That's a lot already.
Many of these things, and this is what we deliver in just in this wave. Because many of these localizations are delivered in this wave, and we have in next few minors we are working on some new localizations. So this is what we are doing. So you can easily install, okay, this is my format, this is provider I want to be connected, and that's it. You can start to work. If you just need to choose in your customers a workflow, how you want to work with what is your service and how and so on. And when you post your documents, the document will be sent to this network. And that's it. But what else? Now we added more thing in this way. Imagine you will get invoice to your network. This is XML. This is machine readable, perfect. Yes, you can read, your system can read, and you can map and continue to proceed. So it works in both directions. You can send and you can receive to the network. So that's good. But you need to see what you receive before you proceed. And you can download and open, but this is XML. But what is more? PayPal provides one option to have embedded PDF into this XML. As a binary, embedded binary code inside. So now we enabled. When you post documents, you just need to enable setup that you want to enable PDF. System will automatically take your layout of your invoice and embed into your XML. So when you send to your customer will get both XML and embedded PDF. If your vendor is sending to you the same way with embedded PDF, system, when you receive electronic document, system will automatically extract PDF, so you will see PDF. And plus one more thing, in this way we enable XML preview. So this is dynamic XML preview. Even if you do not have PDF, so you do not have you can click show me extracted document. So even if this is different
Wow.
type of formats, you will see, this is my header, my lines. Okay, you do not have all header and line, all information header lines as you have in purchase invoice, because this is simple, not the same what you will get from your vendor. But what is inside, you will see. So you will see your lines, what is in header, what is your tax, VAT, whatever, and you can see, this is not what we agree about this price, or something like that. You can reject if this is not the right document, or you can approve. So we improve a lot of these things in this way. So you can really easily handle. And one more thing, not created by my team. My team will handle with that, but we work together with Kenny. This is now big credit to Kenny, what he finished with his team. In some countries, there are specific electronic invoicing, Germany, France, probably I will miss some of countries. They have different approach. They have PDF, so human readable format, with embedded XML, so PDF-A format. And it was complicated. You couldn't handle this part, so Kenny finished a great job. So now we enable our platform getting PDF-A and extracting actually from this PDF-A. So we didn't now finish, but this is task. So we are working on that to enable first localizations. So now if you get PDF-A, system will automatically extract the same way as we had opposite, extract XML, and proceed with this XML automatically creating purchase invoice, but you will get this PDF as a human readable format so you can use it. So there are some really good things, many small improvements. Now I cannot go, you can find the result, many small improvements, in more than 10 small improvements, electronic documents in this wave. But I will point again to another my colleague, because what is important, I mentioned we started with electronic invoicing. I said, okay, let's move this to electronic documents. Probably we will use this for some other things. So now we change an interface. We enable interface for partners. So partners can build EDI, whatever they want to exchange. So we will not provide some sales orders exchanging. So this is not what we are planning to do. We will limit ourselves to regulatory things. But if you want to use this for item catalog, whatever you want to use, you can use it. Now you have interface that you can change document types, you can add new document types, you can work with that without any problem. And we will add, because now we need for some other countries shipments, for example, not only invoices, but there are e-shipments as well. And some other types we will deliver. Some of them as they are required by law in some countries. But again, this is more important for ISVs. They can do much more. So this is why we call documents. And there is more. Again, as I have put some credit to Kenny, now I put some credit to my colleague Soren, as we're working together on that. We made a good framework. This is important to send a message. We are really, maybe, when you're doing something from scratch, people are using why you're doing this way, another way. But, strategy is a bit different, and we cannot show everything in advance what we are doing. But now we created e-documents. Maybe e-documents is not the proper naming. Oh, we can talk about that. And this year, Soren and I will have common session in the direction of North America. So we will get maybe feedback for partners. Maybe we need to change name. I don't know. Let's see what we will do on the end. But now let's talk about framework and what e-documents is. Everything what I explained, this is exchanging with electronic documents. Electronic documents is some kind of XML, JSON, URL, whatever, something machine readable. And that's good. It works perfectly fine. Yes, there are a lot of space for improvements, and we are doing so. But what we could do else, additional, maybe you will find some of Soren posts. He's putting some information, so I will not go into his parts probably because he has much more to add. He will be there, so you can speak with him as well. We can talk together now if you want. So
rumor has it we may have a follow-up to this and have a discussion with Soren, because I have spoken with Soren about this, and I think we are planning a follow-up. I will not go into the last mile what he's doing right now, but I will explain one piece of work. Especially, let's look in United States.
You can use voluntarily electronic invoice in the United States, but there is no regulation. But I'm associated member of DBNA. So this is network for good network with the big providers and big companies. They're working on somehow making electronic invoicing platform in the United States. And what I heard so far on all these meetings, I don't know when and if it will be enabled, but if they do, if they finish everything as a plan, it will be a really great thing. It will be really great. So I don't know how it will go with all regulations, states. It will be for country, per state. So you know your regulation better than I. But in one moment, probably it will be introduced in United States electronic invoicing. But right now, probably a really small number of companies will use electronic invoicing. So if you want to use, yes, we have connectors, we have formats you can use, but the most of companies will use PDFs.
Yes.
Yep.
Email, PDFs,
So
downloadable PDFs,
so
PDFs
now,
everywhere.
when PDF arrive into Business Central will take this PDF, send to Azure Document Intelligence. For all people who do not know what is Azure Document Intelligence, this is our Azure OCR service. So now embedded Azure OCR service, we will send this PDF there. We will get from human readable format, we will get back JSON, so machine readable format. And from that moment, system will behave the same as you got electronic invoice. So in general, it will be the same. If you get electronic invoice, machine readable format, system will proceed. If you get PDF, one step more, system will send to Azure Document Intelligence and get it back as a JSON and proceed the same way. So this is, let's say, opening a door for additional discussion, but I do not want to continue
I have
this.
so many questions on that, but we're going to wait because we do have something scheduled in the future. But that
I'm excited about that,
OCR,
by the way, with what Soren's working, because I have an opportunity working with him on that. So, but like you said, I will leave it to him to make that announcement.
Yes,
it's pretty cool.
It's
yeah, we were together on some things how to make this the same way, because in general now we can split easily. Yes, United States you do not electronic invoicing, you handle the PDFs. In Denmark this is mandatory electronic invoicing, they work electronic invoicing. Yes, but there is always but. Yes, you're working in Denmark, you have mandatory electronic invoicing, but you have vendor from the United States, and you do not have electronic invoicing. So even if I'm Danish, okay, I am not, but if I'm Danish company and I have electronic invoicing, but I will get, and I have big vendor from United States, the biggest one, and now I will have invoices with hundreds of lines, what to do? And okay, if we deliver a different approach, okay, yes, we could handle it different, but so I need to have one approach working with electronic invoices, another approach when working with PDFs. But what we wanted to do, we wanted to have the same approach. If you are a person who are working with incoming, inbound, whatever you call these documents, this is the same user interface. This is the same framework. Never mind, even if you have electronic invoicing mandatory in your countries, but you got from another country PDFs, never mind. For you, this is absolutely the same. So you are proceeding the same way. So everything what we are building for this PDF part, this is applicable for electronic invoicing. Everything what we did and what we are doing for electronic invoicing, this is applicable for OCR system. So for example, Copilot for matching purchase orders with electronic invoice, it works with these PDF invoices as well. So that's it, because from this moment, when we have machine readable format, that's it. And for this another part, Christopher, you know what they're talking about. This is when Soren come, we will talk about that. Again, everything what is there for this PDF part, it will work for electronic invoice as well. So this is the main achievement. We have the common tools. So all AI features, I will talk about AI feature, all AI features will work the same way with any type of documents. So this is one of the most important achievements we succeed with electronic documents.
And it also works with helping with sustainability. I think about when I hear of e-documents,
Yes.
because if you can cut down, I know people work with, believe it or not, a lot of people here in the United States use paper still. I don't understand.
Yeah, I know.
Just like we still use checks. I don't understand.
Yes. So you told this. I didn't want to mention, but you mentioned it. So
No, but it's helpful that the whole e-document piece for the functionality that you had talked about is exciting because it makes it easier for individuals to use. But again, going back with the whole notion of being responsible and sustainability, adding those features in essence contribute to sustainable functions, because we can eliminate the need to have paper. And then I know people can say, well, it's electronic, it's being mailed. I'm not getting into all that stuff, but at least you don't have to print and mail documents either way anymore. You can now electronically transfer them and bring them in and a little bit easier as well, which is great. And we will follow up on the great features.
Two things about e-documents and sustainability. First, yes, we will say we do not need to cut trees to print invoices. So this is extremely important. And I was even thinking, because now I need to check, if this is okay, because there are some official information, I don't know, 1,000 piece of paper, how many trees you will save. So I'm even thinking maybe to add one small chart in row centers to show how many trees you saved printing invoices.
I think that would be great.
I'm thinking I need to check internally, externally with the partners. First, I want to get from partners customer feedback if this is good, if this is usable, if people would like it to have it, and I need to check internally if this is compliance to show the some kind of charts showing this. But there are another part. Electronic invoicing PayPal, what I heard that they will soon introduce additional tag for emissions, for carbon footprint. Or another, so it will be important. We can automatically use this information in a system. Or plus on PDF again, if you have information about emission on PDF, when we send to Azure Intelligence, yes, we will collect this information, and you can automatically post. This is related with what I mentioned. We should have all sustainability postings without doing this by ourselves. So if our OCR model will find this sustainability information, yes, it will collect and it will add it to our system. You will not even know about that. You just need to check your information, you will post, and you will have all emissions information inside the system. So, okay, this is just one piece of all these things situation, but yes, this is so connected with sustainability. And make it easier. Probably it will be easier for tax authorities to keep their eyes on what you're doing with the business. But that's a life.
No, it's great. Sustainability is important, and it shows how technology can be helpful. We talked about using tools for what they're intended to be used for, and in this case, these are extremely helpful. I know we've been here for a bit, but let's jump into the big bear. I know we're pressing up against time here, but the big bear of the improvements here in the United States, which admittedly there's been some challenges over the years because of the complexity of it on its own, are the 1099s.
Now we can.
Well, we can stop now and then just do another day of 1099s.
No, we can discuss if we made improvement or disappointment. Yep. I will make a short introduction, because this introduction is important for what we did in, let's say, last 2 days, and what we are trying to finish very soon. When I joined the team, I got this information from my manager. Keep your eyes in November, December about 1099. What is 1099? And then suddenly I found this the worst possible way, because your IRS is, I cannot say better or worse than any other internal revenue service globally. They are delivering information in the last moment, and assuming that all of us can finish in just a couple of hours all our hot fixes to be ready for all these changes. So I found that they are mostly delivering new differences, new adjustments on printouts late November. So we have less than a month actually to finish all these things. And I know my colleague Arthur, he worked the most on that. He didn't sleep during December just to finish. And after that, early in January, to finish hot fixes to everything what gone wrong, because the biggest problem is we had to fit printing on pre-printed layouts, pre-printed forms, our layout to pre-printed forms. Oh,
more paper.
And
we love
yes,
paper.
And plus, we do not use the same paper formats in Europe and United States. So this is even worse. And when we succeed on our side, this is not the same. We cannot order. So we had to have someone who will order these documents in the United States. Then they will send us post here. So it was so complicated to finish. And just 1 millimeter left, right, up and down. Failure. So it was so complicated. On the end, this is not so complicated set of information, but this is complicated to deliver. And then I need to say, IRS did some good things. They started to cut the number of forms to make mandatory electronic delivering. So now, if I'm not wrong, maybe I'm wrong, but I think if you are delivering more than 1099s, you need to deliver electronically. And we can assume that the most of users will send more than 1099s forms. So we are okay if you say, yes, the most of them they can do electronically. So we do not need to preprint. Then I had to read so many different regulations, and I am not native English. You can conclude from my pronunciations. I can understand good, but when it comes to legislation, this is not the same. Even if I'm reading on my own language, sometimes you need to have some lawyer, some expert to explain some details. But okay, luckily I had a good friends who will explain some information and some details. So I faced 3 years in a row with these issues, and I said this is too much, not because of me, because this is stressful for all of us. Okay, this is stressful for me. I can be selfish and say this is stressful for me. I see Arthur, but now I can imagine how many partners and how many customers. And even I can say, okay, for you are partners, you are working this, you're earning money. Sorry, guys, that's how business is going. But they're customers. They're just looking in the sky and hoping Microsoft and partners will deliver everything on a time, and they will not need to pay fines. So this is stressful for all of us, for all our users, for you as a partners, for us, PMs, engineers, for my managers. This is stressful for everybody. And I said in one moment, it should stop. We cannot continue. Yes, for our support, I forgot our support guys, and big thanks to all of them because they are doing great job. Maybe, customer partners cannot recognize this because, but they are definitely overloaded with all cases, and they are doing great job. And not only what they are doing in communication with customer partners, but they are providing all this information in a proper way to our engineering team so we can handle with all these cases. So many stress. And I said, okay, it should stop in one moment. It should stop. So decision was, yes, if we want to stop, we need to completely to deprecate old model, because we cannot improve old model to make more modern, to make it modern. So there is no way. So what we wanted, now I said, okay, we need to deprecate. What we wanted to achieve. I wanted, now I'm speaking in my name in the first place, I wanted to achieve a self-sufficiency system that if something is changing in the last moment, you can do it without us. Not with the code, without code. In the code, yeah, you can always make extension, but not the code. Without code, with a simple setup. Yes, we will try to provide setup, but yes, if it just fail, because now I remember this year we had 2 systems, so we had to support both of them, and we talked with all people, and they said no changes in 1099 pre-printed forms at all. And yes, there are no changes. The same. I thought, luckily, okay, the last year we are supporting all model, no changes. And then we found in January, yes, we had a change. And what was the change? Previous year, we printed year with 4 digits. This year, we had pre-printed first 2 digits and we had to cut only to 2 digits.
Welcome
so
to
now,
the IRS.
Yes, now, no, okay, I will keep myself out of that. I will not,
Listen,
I will
they'll
not talk
change.
about that.
Taxes are due on April 15th for personal in the United States. They'll make changes up until March 31st and even
Yes.
after April 15th until you have to file your taxes again.
But now I'm looking in some person who decided to make these changes. Why? Come on, why? I understand if you have new form box, if you have different values, whatever. If you want to provide different address, if you want to separate this address into columns because you want to handle different because of some reporting. Okay, yes, maybe sometimes we cannot see a reason, but okay. But why the hell you need to have different? Because this is still only printing. This is printing. If you are satisfied with printing 2 digits, why you are not satisfied with printing 4 digits? What is the problem with that? And this is one of the reasons why I said we had to stop supporting this way, because this is completely wrong. This is wrong for all of us. And this is the last thing I think, we had in the last moment, we couldn't deliver, because if you waited our hotfix, even for hotfix, we need sometimes for applying all hotfixes. So Arthur did in the last moment, okay, he made PTE and sent through our supporting network, just take this PTE and use it. Because we know what you are facing. You as a partners and customers, all of you, because many of our partners are customers as well, because you need to report 1099 as well. So you are user and partners. And we did it the best way what we could, but this is not good enough. And being good enough is not on us, because we cannot be better, because we are dependent on IRS. And that's the way. So we wanted to make, if this is a difference, okay, you can do it easily without any support from Microsoft, because everything will be configurable. And so it was decision. Everything must be configurable. Then what we need to have? We face people want to check what they had last year, now change a bit. If you remember every time when you run, take new, I forgot what was the action, but take new for new year. That's it. You cannot handle with previous year anymore. You can handle only with 1 year. So okay, this is the wrong. So we decided, okay, let's take few things. We want to have document, so you can easily open. You can check for each of them. If you want to change something, you do not need to go to ledger entries. You have documents, so you can change information document. This is one of the important things. Another is it must be configurable. So what does it mean? If you are submitting your 1099 electronically, you are allowed not to send on pre-printed forms your vendors. You can use substitutes. You need to provide all information we have on an original 1099 pre-printed form, all information, but this is substitute. And this is something what is allowed. You need to provide all information, and you can report electronically. So we created setup configuration form where we will continue to support in the future all updates, if there's new forms, all these differences in the future. But if we are late from some reason we didn't see, you can easily add, you can change. This is very easy. You can just change form and say, okay, I want this form for box, this is the name, and this is for where I will take this information, and that's it. And even for these notes, what does it mean? We have additional that you can add all these notes, so you can easily put everything what you need there, and you can print and send. Then what did more? We wanted to automate it, and I got this idea on UG Summit 2 years ago, when one of the ladies asked me, but we talk what we want, how we can improve this process. I would like to send all these forms by email. But they said, how I can pre-print on pre-printed forms, send by email? I cannot do it. But I found that, okay, we can send this substitute. So I found when I read legislation, you need to get consent from your vendor. So I cannot, Microsoft, if you want to be compliant, we cannot enable all vendors to be ready for receiving. So you need manually to click that this vendor provided consent that they want to receive electronic through email to get their 1099. So that's good. And then plus now there are some sensitive information. But what is again good in legislation, they said you can hide 4 digits on TIN. So you have in configuration, you can hide, you can print as is, you can hide on TIN, vendor TIN, you can find on both vendor and your team. So this is minimum protection what we can provide. And now again, one credit to Kenny, because this is something what we will do, because a lot of improvement on PDFs. Now, one of reasons actually why we drive all these changes on PDFs was regulatory requirements. And we have with New Wave possibility to add password protection PDF. So idea is to
Very cool.
now I cannot promise when, because there are now a lot of things in backlog, but we are thinking to add password protection to this PDF, so it will be much higher protection when we are sending via email, so nobody can take steal whatever, misuse this information. So we just need to see what is the best way how to keep this password and so on. So we need to rethink it a bit more. Now we have platform enablement, but we need to rethink how, what is the proper workflow, how to keep all this information the proper way. But this is just to understand how we are thinking, and this is much more about collaboration with us. So we are not islands that I am working my job, some other colleagues are working their job. There are a lot of collaboration between us. We are looking who is working on what to make the best possible results together. It's all the time. We do not see, I don't see when I need to deliver. I need to deliver. My name is a new feature. I don't think if this is the best for me. We need to think if this is best for Microsoft. So
Yes.
if my colleague has better idea, okay, I will take, this is better for him to deliver this because there are more value for Business Central and Microsoft for customers in the first place. So this is how we are working. So this is great example of collaboration. Actually, I mentioned a few of them during our conversation today. But this is something what will come in one moment. But let's focus what we have right now. So we can send in a bulk. So when you deliver, if you have consent, you just need to send, send, and system will send to all emails in the bulk. Then one more thing, we can choose if you are using standard email, you have email address. But if you have specific email for sending tax documentation, you can add IRS email. So if this is different person, yes, you can add. If you didn't add this IRS email, system will use default email for these vendors. So there are some commodity how you can use this bulk sending. But if there is no consent for all others, you can print normal print on these substitutes, and then you can send by regular mail. So you have old way and new way, and now another part submitting to 1099 IRS to IRS 1099 form. We are working, and I said we are working. Present continues to finish integration with IRS through Iris service. We had a lot of issues about certificates, about getting proper IDs. This is not easy. This is definitely not easy thing. I expected we will do so easy, but there is nothing easy about 1099s. So we still didn't finish. Now we have some security reviews, security issues with this A2A integration. So, security is currently, if we talk about issues, this is issue number one all the time. So if we do not pass all the security bullet points when we create new functionality, we cannot deliver. So we are not so far technically to deliver, but we need to resolve some security issues there. So again, this is this is tax. This is tax, and this is extremely sensitive every time we talk about taxes. So security cannot be covered with 95 or 98%. It must be covered with 99.99999 because this is not possible with 100. There is nobody can say 100% is security, but 99.999 can be achieved. So we are currently looking at that. I hope in 2, 3, 4 months, I don't know, I hope in 2, but maybe 4 months, we will finish this last mile with integration. And now, when I say integration, all the time there is but. This integration can work for SaaS users. Because IRS allows to enable team for software, only one team for this software. For this is Business Central, I can enable one team. So we will you will use actually Microsoft registration team and Microsoft certificate. You are sending your team, but integration team and integration certificate will be Microsoft certificate. IRS will not allow 3, 4, or hundreds of different certificates per customer, so we must use our certificate. So it was a little bit more complicated part to deliver this type of certificates as Microsoft is providing the security channel and users will use. So for SaaS users, there will not be a problem once we complete it. You just need to go to click submit. And that's it. You will track a progress. You will have some traffic lights there. Okay, that's a traffic lights. I don't mean literally, but some kind of statuses. You will see this is submitted, and then if for some reason this is rejected, you will get that this is rejected. If this is approved, so you will get this information back from IRS. So this is really, I think it will be wonderful once we complete it. And I really encourage everybody, minimum who is working with SaaS, use it because it will be really great. You can just click submit, system will submit, send via emails for all your vendors, or if they didn't provide consent, it will be printed, and for IRS, it will be submitted, and you will get all the information. If this is good, approved, accepted, approved. I don't know all statuses now.
You want them to try it, right? Like once they security pass, then people should try it.
Yeah, it will be really great, and I'm really proud what we are doing. Okay, I will go back to some issues we have with all these things. So this is not everything sunshine. So we have issues, and on the other side, we for on-prem users and workaround in the meantime before we enable this A2A is you can download disk file, disk file for submitting to Fire system. So you can download and submit manually to Fire. Again, digitally submission, but you need to download this file and submit to Fire. So this was a workaround for this year. And if from some reason we do not finish until the end of year, I do not expect that, but if for some reason we cannot complete, it will be workaround for SaaS. But in generally, I expect SaaS users will use A2A integration. On-prem users will use download disk file and upload to Fire. So we will cover all of these things. So now I will go back to some issues. Some of issues are functionality is completely different. Users and partners do not know how to use. Now I can point to Microsoft and I can point to partners. We delivered this functionality, I think, 8-9 months ago. I put a few times on Yammer to people, please test it. And of course, nobody tested. So now I say I can point to partners. On the other side, I cannot point because you are not supposed to test our functionality. We are supposed to test. But, this is bidirectional. If you want to see how it works, you need to try. You cannot learn how it works without trying. Minimum with the sandbox, just trying with some data. But this is much more on us. So I just said this is on both sides. But all the time I expect this is on us. Probably we had to do some things maybe different. Maybe where I see we are here in Europe, we do not handle with some expressions you are working in United States, when you are using some expression with 1099, with IRS, this is natural not in English, in US English, in US business English. For maybe we use some different captions for some fields, for some page. So some basic misunderstandings. Maybe we need to improve some parts. Then we created these thresholds for some of them. It will be again configurable completely, but that means if you want proper to report, to have everything, you need to configure every year. So you need manually to say every year. And then we provided more luxury, so you can handle with different types of vendor. People sometimes like, sometimes do not like. And yeah, so we met all these, let's say, issues. Some of them are real issues. Some of them are just misunderstanding because people still didn't learn how to use it. And yeah, what we found, first, I received a lot of feedback, and I have my folder in email, in my Outlook, with all this feedback. And I said, okay, first, every time when you get feedback, positive or negative, this is feedback. And if you're asking me what I appreciate more, I appreciate much more negative feedback. Because positive feedback is all the time, okay, I know I'm good.
Well, and people are less likely to give positive feedback too. It's people will typically give negative feedback over positive feedback. And the old saying I remember is, a happy person will tell one person, an unhappy person will tell 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And this is good. But what I want, if you have negative feedback, send it to me. Yes, okay, you can talk between you. You can talk. You can, you can say that we didn't make a good job. Whatever. This is not a problem. That's it. If we didn't, we didn't. But I think feedback is the most important. Send it to me immediately. As sooner is better. Because if I don't get, I cannot improve. This is the same. Whatever, now I'm trying to talk, even if this is personally something, I don't know how to improve it if I don't know for that. How to improve anything in myself if you didn't say me that I need to improve. So I need to know. Okay, sometimes I can conclude on my from my own, and I know how to improve. But sometimes, even if I conclude that I need to improve, I will try to improve, but I will improve the wrong way.
Yes.
Because I didn't know what is really painful for you. So please send me feedback. It doesn't mean I will do the same way as you asked. As you mentioned at the beginning, everyone has its own opinion, and you cannot make one fit all. So there is no way to make it. But I will try to make something to be one fit the most. If not all, there is no way to all, but to fit the most of you. This is what I'm trying to do. So result is we already made some changes in the meantime. Then we already have, if I'm not wrong, 4 or 5 slices in our backlog, what we already concluded we need to improve, especially not only for creating new year, but when you configure one company, what with other companies. Okay, you have Visa, but you need to, if you have 30 companies, you need to go 30 times one by one. So now we are working on some automation when you configure one company to say, okay, reproduce to another companies. So we already got a feedback, and even if we didn't communicate publicly, so we have a lot of these things in our backlog, but based on all these feedbacks. Conclusion is, first, we will have directions, we will have session, end-to-end 1099. And first, I plan to deliver only by myself. But then I found a lot of people on your side, a lot of people who are talking about that, who wrote about that. So I talked actually just a few days ago, last week, with Steve Chinsky.
Oh, nice.
He wrote a lot of things about that. And okay, do you want to speak with me about this? This, he said, this is maybe too late. No, this is not too late. I can add you as a speaker. So we will have common session, because he's on the first place. And if something is not good, I do not try to hide. This is what we talked earlier. So if there is a beer in the room, okay, let us know. Yes, we will talk together there with the partners. So if he can say, okay, it was it was really painful to do this way, another way. So this is first thing we will do. I wanted to have someone with me, not to make it easier. Maybe on the first sight it looks easier, but in general it will be more complicated because I have more challenges on these sessions. But another thing is we'll have a round table. We'll have a round table about 1099. Let's talk openly what we can improve. So it doesn't mean this is wrong or not wrong. No, maybe this is wrong, maybe this is not wrong. Never mind. This is a chance, even maybe for me, to explain why we decided to go this way. Because sometimes this is easy. Yes, earlier it was easier. Yes, if you're asking me, when I first time used automatic car, it was so complicated for me. So complicated for me because I only use manual transmission. And I could die because I hit the brake with my left leg. Okay, you probably do not know what it means because in the United States you're driving automatics all
I grew up
life.
with the manual. I miss driving manuals.
Okay. So you know, but first time in my life I sat in automatic. I took rental cars in Seattle. Oh, in one moment I said, okay, I will not go for parking. I just pay them and but this is so better. Now if you talk about user experience, you don't need to take care. You just need to hit drive. This is much easier. But you need to change your mind. Okay, left leg is free. Don't touch anything with your leg.
It's not clutch.
So that's it. You just need to change approach. It doesn't mean that something is worse just because you used to use differently.
Correct.
This is just something you use for 20 years, and now this is more complicated. And when I decided to buy new car after some years, I decided I would buy automatic transmission because in Europe, especially in Serbia, this is so rare. People are using mostly manual transmission. And my wife, it was in the beginning. Now, okay, she will not listen this this podcast.
well, if you want a real treat, Kris, maybe, I don't know, when you come to the United States, get a Tesla and use FSD and let the car drive for you.
Yeah, yes, maybe I will try this.
The FSD here, I use the FSD. It goes from parking spot to parking spot. I don't even drive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alexander, good thing that you didn't drive a stick or manual in Seattle because Seattle has a lot of hills and you would have it's a lot of work driving manual on hills.
But I grow up with the hills.
And it's easy to, right? Yeah, you can.
For me, this is really easy. This is not problem for me. But this is what I wanted to say. Sometimes new is just a new. It doesn't mean this is better or this is new. So you need to change your approach. You need to learn how these new things are working, and probably many of these issues are just because this is new. So I want to explain why we are doing the same, why we're doing this new way, new approach, because there are a lot of reasons. If as I said, if you use old way, it will be painful in the future as well. So we wanted to change this approach, and I know this is breaking change, so you need to switch to new approach. This is one thing, and I want to explain in a regular, in a talk, not in a session. I just want to talk with the people to explain because you can raise a topic here. Why you did this way? Maybe I will get some good idea. Yes, we can change it. So this is not a round table to explain myself why we are doing one way or another way. This is bidirectional. I want to get some ideas. We want to talk. Maybe I will explain why we decided to go one way, but maybe in this communication, yes, we can go this way, but we can change for 2% and it will be much easier and better. So it will be a round table, absolutely open. We can talk about everything and we will see we have enough time to complete whatever is missing to make it a really amazing functionality until the end of year. So I really want to have one peaceful December and January without stress. I mean, for all of us, for our customers, for you as a partners, and for my engineers, for me, and for our support. I just want to have this business as usual.
Hopefully next year you will have that. Well, Mr. Alexander, sir, we've cannibalized a lot of your time. We really appreciate all of the information that you shared. I could talk with you for hours and hours about all this great things, but I do have one last question for you. And you had mentioned how great it is being a grandfather.
Ah,
Did you
this
feel
is
life change after your grandchild was born?
completely, and this is, yeah. Now talking what is the best. This is the second. Actually, this is the third best thing in my life. I will start with paraphrasing Churchill. If I am properly paraphrasing, the best thing I did in my life was the moment when I proposed my wife. This is something what I really believe, and this is by my heart, because without her, nothing will be happen. So she is definitely my strength. She is my main supporter, and only she knows what she needs to get from me. Especially in some hard days, working and all other things. And I'm a really specific person. I know I don't want another Aleksandar with me in the same room very often. So this is probably the first good things I did in my life, the best thing. Second, the best thing in my life what happened was when I became father. It was, wow, this is new life, and you have your child, your own child. But again, third, the best thing in my life is when I became grandfather. And this is completely different. And I said, okay, and now I will make all stupid things with him. But then, yes, I want to enjoy with him, and I'm doing some stupidity, with him, especially now he is 3.5. We can do many things together. But I'm not irresponsible person. Only what I can do in English, there are good words. In my language, we have only one word, and this is very often I try to explain in Serbian. This is not possible to explain, but in English, this is very easy. I am responsible but not accountable. My son and his wife, they are accountable for him, and that's okay. I was accountable for my kid, but for him, I am absolutely responsible. I cannot allow that he will hurt himself, or not only himself, some other person. I'm really taking care about that, but everything outside of that, we can make a joke. Yeah, we can do whatever we want, and this is really amazing. Unfortunately, I didn't have this is a really bad thing, what I will say, but I don't try to hide. My son knows this. In my country, we had a really tough days, especially when he was born, 1993. 1993, Serbia, actually Yugoslavia, is still in Guinness Book of Records with the biggest inflations ever in global race. So really, we had war times, we have hyperinflation. So in these days, when he was kid, unfortunately, I had to work all day, so I didn't have enough time to be good father. I tried to be the best father I could. When I see results with him, I'm proud, and now I'm extremely proud what he is doing. So results are good, but I wanted, and I'm really sorry I didn't have enough time. It sounds really ugly, but I didn't have enough time to be better father for him. Now, even if I work too much, I have enough time minimum to be good grandfather. So we are trying to spend some weekends to go into some spa, to go here and there. This year we will go together first time to summer vacation. So this is amazing having, him with you. I am 3 times younger when I am with him, so I can continue now. We can speak 1.5 hours only about this.
No, we'll catch up with the no.
I will stop here, but this is amazing.
That's amazing.
I hear that often, and it is challenging when you have children because you do have a lot of responsibility being accountable for them. So it is challenging. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions of working to be able to provide for them versus spending time with them. But when you have a grandchild, it's different because, as you said, now usually it's a little bit later and you can take the time with them. And the feeling that you get now when you have that, to me, my thought was, I'm done with life. Like, I've already done everything I need to do. Now I can
Just
relax and enjoy
it.
because it's like a weight has been lifted off your shoulder. Like, you have a child, and now that child has reproduced to create another generation. So you did what you needed to do. And now you can breathe and enjoy and go to the park. It's the same thing. I text my daughter recently about that and said, "Oh, do you want to go to the park?" Right, because the baby loves going to the park. Do you want to go to the park this afternoon? Would I have done that when she was a little? Chances were probably not because of working, but it is a great feeling, and we appreciate that. We appreciate all that you're doing for Business Central, the community, and with all the features and functions you're adding, the sustainability, and also all the great things you're doing for that other generation of yours with your grandchild. And I can't wait to talk to you more about this in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Guys, see you in 3 weeks, if I'm not wrong, in Las Vegas. So,
and hopefully you bring in a different cup. That's all I'll say.
No cups.
No,
we talk face to face. Why not cups? But I'm trying to do something different, but no cups anymore.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. I'll see you in a few weeks. And again, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Guys.
Ciao. Bye.
All right, take care.
Ciao.
Thank you, Kris, for your time for another episode of In the Dynamics Corner Chair. And thank you to our guests for participating.
Thank you, Brad, for your time. It is a wonderful episode of Dynamics Corner Chair. I would also like to thank our guests for joining us. Thank you for all of our listeners tuning in as well. You can find Brad at developerlife.com. That is DVLPRLIFE.com. And you can interact with them via Twitter, DVLPRLIFE. You can also find me at matalino.io, MATALINO.io. And my Twitter handle is Matalino16. And you can see those links down below in the show notes. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, and take care.